I'm going to show you how I made this puzzle. This is a 6-piece notched burr puzzle, and I made it out of the same 1/2 inch by 1/2 inch stock that I made the marking gauge out of in my last video. I learned to make this puzzle by watching Steve French, and if you haven't seen his channel, you should check it out. He's got really great stuff. Each one of these pieces is identical. It just has 2 notches cut out of it at 55 degrees. So you can take a marking gauge and set it at 55 degrees and lay out your cuts like that, or you can make a template, which is what I did. I made mine out of a gift card, a plastic gift card, but you could probably make it better out of hardboard or maybe a 1/4 inch Luan. Now the important part of these pieces is this space in between the notches can't come to a sharp point or the puzzle will be too tight. So you leave, in this case I left about 1 millimeter, almost 1/16 of an inch in between them when I laid it out, and I'll show you a diagram here in a minute. You can make these any size. They can be scaled up or down, whatever. Just make sure the template is made specifically for the stock you're working with. This is one I made out of pine with a bandsaw, and I'll use this one at the end to demonstrate how to put it together. Now, Steve French makes his on the bandsaw, and I'll put a link to his video in the description, but today I'm going to show you how to make it with hand tools. Thickness of the piece it's going to be whatever it is. In this case it's 1/2 inch. The bigger puzzle I made was 3/4, but it needs to be square, and the length of the pieces has to be 3.5 times the thickness. So like in this case it was 1/2 inch here. That means this wants to be 1 3/4 inches, I think is what it works out to. And you just lay these angles out. They go all the way to the edge of your piece. And my template there, you just ignore that little notch. I was just screwing around with the chisel. But I glued my template made out of gift card to a piece of the same stock, and this distance here obviously is the thickness of the piece. So then when I lay it there, you can see how this works. And now I can use this as a template to mark my pieces. Now to make my cuts, I made this cradle, and I didn't think to film this. I probably should have, but what I did was I just took some boards, cut a 45-degree angle on this one, and I joined them together, and then I glued them to this block. It's glued and nailed. And then what I did was I took and cut at an angle. I just made a relief cut right in the middle, and then I cut out this center section with a coping saw. That way this piece can sit in there so I can make my cuts. Now off camera I went ahead and marked out both sides of these. I also marked a line through the center of the part I'm going to cut out, and the reason I did that is because I'm going to make a relief cut right through in the middle of this notch. Now see, that's not quite all the way down. It doesn't matter if it's straight either. This is a good project for developing your saw skills, chisel skills, and of course after making a few of these your results will get better. So once I've got that saw cut made, I'll come in here with my chisel and just start notching it out right down to that pencil line. And now you can see why I made this relief cut in this little cradle. And of course poplar is really good for this kind of handwork because it carves easy. And you know you have it right if you can fit the corner, if your corner of your piece fits in there just like that. you can see, that took hardly no time at all. And now I can go back and clean it up just a little bit here and there. Check the fit in each one. And in this one I made 7 pieces. I accidentally laid out one too many, so it isn't a bad idea to make one extra at least, in case you get a little too deep on one of your chisel cuts or something. And then we'll just separate them and see how they fit. So to take this thing apart, you just grab 2 pieces that are parallel to each other and just sort of wiggle them apart. And to put it back together, do it 3 pieces at a time. Take 2 pieces and put them together like this. Make a T. And you bring a third one in so that the points are together like that. Put them together so that they're mirror images like this, and then you just twist them together.